The third one is the anxious-avoidant style. Some people like to refer to it as the disorganized style. I don't like using that expression. But as the name shows, anxious-avoidant, it's a combination of the two, a mix and match. So the person shows traits of the anxious attachment style and the avoidant attachment style. What you see when a person has this style is that they can be so passionate and loving on some days or at some points, and other times they can be extremely avoidant. A person with the anxious-avoidant style craves connection, craves closeness, at the same time is very afraid of this closeness. So they'll be very nice to you, very warm on some days. On other days, they're detached, they seem cold, avoidant. And on other days, they are actually quite hostile. So it's like, you are too extreme. I've heard people make such statements about people who have the anxious-avoidant style. You're too much. It's like you're crazy. Think about it. You've heard things like, hey, he's crazy or she's crazy. I've heard people use bipolar to describe such people. The interesting thing is that this style develops in homes where the child grew up in an abusive environment. Physical abuse, which always goes with mental and emotional abuse, or emotional abuse. So the primary caregiver or givers were both the source of warmth and love and affection, and also the source of hostility and abuse. Sometimes it's one parent who seems very warm and kind and loving, and the other parent is very harsh and abusive. Sometimes it's the same parent in an environment where they are not sure what they're going to get on what day, depending on what state the parent is in. Whether this parent is in a warm and loving mood, or whether that day the parent is going to rain hellfire down, or whether that day the parent is just going to be aloof and not care. And again, because this is the first template of how we exist in the world, it registers, it downloads in the subconscious. It downloads in a way that we have their memories that we can't even bring back to consciousness. But it shapes who we become. It shapes the types of relationships we form. Environments where you see men being physically abusive, women being physically abusive, fighting. You know, we hear about couples where, hey, those people, when they're fighting, please, no one should go and say something, because the next thing you see, they're vacationing together, they're walking hand in hand, and you look like a fool. That type of dynamic reeks of anxious avoidance. And people don't intentionally choose to be this way. But I'm also not saying that it's okay to remain this way. That's why I'm spilling this tea. For us to be able to break the cycles, for us to recognize where it came from. So if you or someone you know exhibits any of these styles, share this video. Learn something about yourself. Learn something about your partner. Understand that people are not born that way. They don't just choose to be that way. But it is possible to improve. It is possible to work on it. It is possible to choose differently. I'll be sharing that towards the end of this video.